Hello you guys, I'm Thomas from the Hammer Bros channel. Today we'll be looking at my Vito Thorn of Dusk Rose commander deck. Normally we don't do magic cards on the channel, but I've been getting into magic, I've been getting into chess, I've been getting into NES games. I'm just gonna roll with it. All three, bam ba dam ba dam. Alright, today, magic. Maybe tomorrow, chess. Maybe the next day, NES game. In fact, I'll probably try to get through more NES games because I gotta try to play them all and there's still like over 600. So that'll be fun. Recently in my collection, I've gotten Ghosts and Goblins. Just FYI. You came to this video for magic, I'm sorry. Anyways, so, Vito Thorn of the Dusk Rose. I chose this as my commander because in an unrelated event, which I don't know about, I could share at a later time, I needed to pick up a magic starter set for a tutorial for my brothers Nick and Matt. I do have other brothers. They're not part of the channel. Don't worry about it. Anyways, so I had to get my commander deck, or not commander deck, I had to get a starter set, and I chose the $6, some places it's $7, Magic the Gathering Arena. I can't remember the name. It was just a starter deck, honestly, and I just picked it because it looked like a very simple, easy tutorial for my brothers because of the whole unexplained event, which I'll do at a later time, like I said. I'll put it up on the screen right up here. Yeah. And when I saw the card, I was like, you know what? I'll make a commander out of this. This is fun. This will be good. I will enjoy this. And so my commander deck is heavily influenced by, on tappedout.com, Vito Drainer of Balls $50 budget deck by Silber Wasserarin. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name. Majority of the cards are the same. I think there's 5 to 6 differences, maybe 7. I plan on changing a few of these cards. Also, I just love now there's more comments actually, but at the time there was one comment from July 17th, nice deck, says the creator of the deck. And then a month later, August 13th, sorry about the self comments, I can't delete them without paying money, and as you can see, I'm a budget player, so figure. Let's see, there's more comments. Lol at the self comments. Nice deck. Maybe open the graves. You never know if you need more fuel. I saw that Strand of Knights was in maybe board. You might want to put that card in your deck. It is a great defense card for a minion. Okay. Anyways, let's get into the deck. Now, because it is slightly different, I'm going to change the name a bit. Because let me just pull over this screen. I'll still be kind of in the corner. I gotta slouch. Let me get up. There we go. And now my cat wants in. Anyway, so I'm gonna put a label over my commander boxes. This is my first commander box. Why so shaky? Yeah, I need to work on that. Anyways, so I'm gonna be a little here off of the screen. Oh, just why? I think there's even a setting if I wanted to hopefully help with the shakiness, but I'll look at that later. But I just need a boom stand, I think. Also, this is the first time like I gotta think about hands and what I got to do. Today I thought about Okay, let's get into magic. Let's get into magic. I gotta not go into weird tangents. I gotta not go into weird tangents. Let me just show you real quick from the starter deck. Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. I don't know how much zoomed in I should be, but let's just open her up. Something I actually really like about this is an Ultra Pro Eclipse 100 card box, standard box. I really love this. Side deck, I know it's for side deck, but I don't have too big of a side deck, although I might build a little bit of a side deck. But this helps separate commander. And when I'm putting cards away, it'll remind me, hey, let's separate the commander. Because so many times, shuffling the commander into the deck, biggest problem. So let's open her up. I'll get into the somewhat of a side deck later, but first, always fun. Also, I should shuffle this. It's not in a super particular order. Also, it's not in a super particular order, but we'll just go along. Mischievous Poltergeist. This, I'm not sure why it's in the deck. Maybe there's a good reason for it. I think it's so you can sacrifice him or her, sorry. Sacrifice her. I think it's so you can sacrifice her, pay 1 life, get her back, and then you can gain a life by sacrificing her. That might cost some mana, unless you can well, yeah. I think it's just to continuously cycle through, which isn't that bad. Let me go through the swamps. 1, 2, 3. Vindictive Vampire. This is pretty nice, especially with each opponent. Well, when you sacrifice a creature, each opponent, which is great for commander, will lose a life, and I'll gain a life, and that will chain off. I'm going to try to just explain things a bit more quickly. Each opponent, good, because the commander loses 3 life. You gain life equal, lost that way. And then boom, you can deal more damage. Let me go let my cat in. He's just a whiner. Anyways, Demon's Horn. Whenever a player casts a black spell, you may gain 1 life. Now this is also good because, well, although I'm running a mono black deck, usually my friends like to run multicolor deck, and sometimes that will also run into black. But either way, I'm gaining life. That's good for me. Gotta do that damage. Let's see. Strands of Night. Pay 2 life, sacrifice a swamp, return target creature from your graveyard to play. Actually, I'm going to put this over here because I might swap it out. Because there's better ones. I feel. There's better ones. Swamps. Whip of Erebos. Creatures you control have lifelink. Return target creature card from graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. If it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Activate the ability only anytime you cast a sorcery. This is a lot to take in. Might have to look up more on that card so I can learn a bit more. Sanguine of Bond. There's no of. Sanguine Bond. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So basically just another one of these conditions so that... Shush! So basically, Sanguine Blood will be a backup for Vito and might potentially act as, you know, double the damage as well. Like, imagine me just playing black spells, gaining 2 life, gaining 1 life, dealing 2 damage. You know, that's really good. I'm going to put this over here just because I have another card to go along with that. Alchemist's Gifts. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains your choice of Death Touch or Lifelink until the end of turn. Now this is pretty substandard black card. I feel like there might be a few betters. I might put that over here. Pay 3, flip a coin. If you win the flip, you gain 6 life. You know, this is a really interesting one. I kind of like it. I like the random chance of it. It's kind of funny. Sanguine Indulgence, another Sanguine. The spell costs 3 less if you've gained 3 life or more this turn, which isn't too hard to do with all the... Oh my gosh. Percy! Shush! Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, which could very well come in handy in my opinion. Bushmeat Poacher. Sacrifice another creature. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Draw a card. This is pretty neat. Fruit of Tizerus. Target player loses 2 life. Escape. Exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. This I'm gonna change. Swamp. 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 I think there's roughly 31, 32 swamps. I want to say... So, yeah. As you can tell, like I haven't shuffled yet. But I have kind of jumbled them together. Plague Mire. Infect. Add 1 to mana pool. Soul Conduit. Target 2 players exchange life totals. This one is a nasty one. Imagine, I'll get to it later, but just imagine using a lot of life and then switching out. Like, even with this, pay 1 life, Wall of Blood gets +1/+1 until end of turn. There's no tap. You could pay for almost all of your life, tap for 6, and then potentially skadoosh use a bunch of life to just take out that guy's life. Honestly, it's nuts. This card's pretty nuts. It is 6 mana, but because of Commander, usually, no, not all the time, but usually the bigger cards fare a bit better than in a 60 standard card deck. But yeah. Rush. Let me take a drink. I forget that I have two cameras on me. Anyways. Rush of Vitality. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains lifelink and indestructible until the end of the turn. Not a bad one. Ooh, this is a flip one. Pay 2 life, draw a card at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have 5 or less health, you may transform Angles. Arguel's Bloodfast. Dun dun dun. I have a card sleeve. Yeah. This is pretty nice. Sacrifice a creature, you gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. And that's just a tap. And a mana. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Especially when you can smartly use it. And you can get some cards out of this, which will help. Let's see. Victim of Night. Destroy target non-vampire, non-werewolf, non-zombie. This is a nice little construct deck. I think there might be a few better ones. I think might be better to replace. Hi, Percy. Percy wants up here, but like this is his spot on my desk. You can have it in a little bit. I promise. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has hexproof. Mask of Ison. Disciple of Disciple of Grizzlebrand. Disciple of Grizzlebrand. I've used this guy for sure. I've actually played this deck online on Tabletop Simulator. Now, why would I make a commander deck if I can already play it for free? There's just sometimes, you know, you want to get together with your friends. Now with the whole bad thing going on, I understand why that's less of a case now, but you know, so you gotta sometimes meet up with friends. Sometimes, you know, social distance. We always hand sanitizer, keep distance, but sometimes you just gotta play physical. And I don't own another commander deck. This is my technically second. I'll get to that in another video, but yeah, it's just nice to own this. Unexpected Fangs, +1/+1 counter and lifelink counter on target creature. Serrated Scorpion. When Serrated Scorpion dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. So this will be nice because, well, I'll get to it more in a second. I might put it down here so I can remember it. But yeah, just like dealing with Commander 2 to, and I keep saying I typically play with 4 people, but so 2, 2, 2, and then I get 2 Vito. One of them, who am I gonna target? Who's gonna lose an extra 2? Someone's gonna lose 4, and the others are gonna lose 2. You know, that's pretty nice. I said I was gonna put it here. Star Compass enters tapped. Add a mana pool of 1 color to any color that a basic land you control could produce. Add a mana pool, you gain 1 life. That's pretty nice. I like that. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card. A target opponent sacrifices a creature or pays 3 life. Oh, unless. So, someone could give up life. Or just get rid of one of their creatures. Which, if they're running a token deck, they might... Not token. An artifact deck. Or a deck where they're creating lots of tokens. That could be very easily overcome. But, you know, if you keep doing it, they're going to run out of creatures or life, and they're not going to want to do it, and I'll get a card. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. Destroy target creature an opponent controls. So this is very nice. This is a very nice one. Although, Disciple of Grizzlebrand, you can do multiple times, and that has its uses. This one can also be nice if you want to get rid of someone else's guy while also doing the boopity boop. Flying. Whenever Falconerath Noble or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And then they lose another life. Or someone else does. Pontiff of Blight. Extort. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life and someone loses another one. With my Vito. Other creatures you control have extort. Crypt Intrusion. Exile all creatures from target player's graveyard. You gain 3 life for each card exiled this way. This was pretty nice in the little game my bros and I played. Not brothers, but friends. Overflowing Chalice. I'm still like decent way in. Still a decent way in. Don't break. Don't break on me. Multi-kicker 2. You may pay an additional 2 any number of times you cast this spell. Everflowing Chalice enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it for each time it was kicked. Add a mana, colorless mana for each charge color on Everflowing Chalice. So the more you put on this, the more you'll get out of it, which is pretty nice. Add 2. Broker of Blood. Blonde. Broker of Blood. Villas. He is flying. Pay 2. Target creature gets -1 until end of turn. Whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. So this can be nice to definitely have out. Sorry for the shaking. This is definitely nice to have out. So that if I ever do need to pay life, you know, I can get cards. And plus, not only that, but I could kill some of my friends' monsters that way. Disciple of Bolas. When Disciple of Bolas enters the battlefield, sacrifice another creature. You gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the creature's power. Dang. That can be really nice. Alright. Destroy all creatures. Each player loses life equal to the number of creatures they controlled that were destroyed that way. Ob Nixilis. Reignited. A legendary planeswalker. Cat. There's not much room, but I guess you can join as long as you sit boy. Anyways, you draw +1, you draw a card and lose 1 life. -3, destroy target creature. -8, target creature. Let me move my mouse out of the way for you. Is that a good spot for you, bud? Still recording, still doing good. He might pop in every once in a while, but that's fine. I like him. He likes me sometimes. Target opponent gets an emblem with whenever a player draws a card, you lose 2 life. Memorial to Folly. Memorial to Folly enters the battlefield tap. Add a swamp. 2 in a swamp, sacrifice Memorial Folly. Return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Hendren Archive. Add 2 colorless. 2 colorless. Tapped, sacrifice, and draw 2 cards. This one's kind of funny. Enchanted player. Whenever enchanted player draws a card, they lose 2 life and gain 2 life. And you gain 2 life. Yeah, this is pretty nice. I played it on my friend who had an artifact deck that would often result in him drawing cards. Now, it's kind of funny. We were playing the game where he was getting low, and he was basically like, all right, Tom, so what you're saying is I can go out on my own terms. Because he knew with my board advantage, I was going to win. So, he decided to draw himself to death. And then it was just me and one other guy. And it was on. Anyways. Haunted Fengraf. Fengraf, sorry. Colorless. Sacrifice. Return creature card at random from your graveyard to your hand. Mind Stone. 1 mana. Sacrifice. Draw a card. Lashrith. Living Weapon. Equip +1 for each swamp you control. Equipped. Equip can be 2 black or 4 life. Soul Ring. Standard in a lot of commander decks. Add 2 to your mana pool. Zealoport Cutthroat. Whenever Zealoport Cutthroat or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Defiant Bloodlord. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So, basically the same thing. Wow! So basically you could have these 3. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. And then you're just like, oh, I get 1 life. Someone's going to lose 3, or 3 of you is going to lose 1. It's all good in the hood. It's all good in the hood. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this guy. If I'm gaining a lot of life, might as well get some use out of it. Essence Harvest. Target player loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Wall of Limbs. Defender. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on the Wall of Limbs. Sacrifice the limb of Wall of Limbs. Target player loses X life, where X is the limb's power. So this is almost like Vito, except I keep building on this guy and then eventually could sacrifice him to do it once, which is pretty nice. When Radiant Fountain enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Add 1 to your mana pool. Staff of Death Magus. Whenever you cast a black spell or a swamp enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Search your library for a card and then put that card into your hand and shuffle your library. It's not that bad. Not that bad. Whisper Silk Cloak. Equipped creature is unblockable. Equipped creature has Shroud. It can't be target of spells or ability. 2 equipped, which would be really nice to put on him. Now, obviously, I want to attack with him, but not being the target, he could still get wiped by board wipe, but still, it'd be nice to not just have a counter target creature. Subversion. During your upkeep, each of your opponents lose 1 life. Gain 1 life for each life lost that way. This is pretty nice. I would definitely try to get this out with this guy. So just as soon as my upkeep happen, I'll gain 3 life. Then I'll deal someone 3 damage. And then you could stack this or this. Or another one, which will be pretty nice. This is a good one for sure. Whenever Revenge of Ravens. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, that creature's controller loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Pretty nice. Clackbridge Troll. Trample and Haste. I've typically tried to just use him for his to sacrifice and gain life and then hit. But this was a nice kind of diversion because they didn't know quite what I was doing yet, I think, in my deck. You know, like, they had some idea, obviously, but it was really nice to just give some guy 3 goats and just, hey, 8 damage anyways. He's not attacking. Ira, first of the Lochthwain. Sorry for the pronunciation, and also not even showing the card. Why is it not focusing? Let's see. Wow! Well, this is actually kind of nice. If I just keep pulling up. Oh. Whenever Ira or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That's really nice. Basically like a subversion. Chosen from Death. Limerant. Limerant's toughness is equal to your devotion to black. Exile up to 2 target creatures from your graveyard. You gain 1 life for each creature exiled this way. Oopsie doops. Mirror Shield. Equipped creature gets +0/+2 and has hexproof. And whenever a creature with death touch or blocks or becomes blocked by this creature, destroy that creature. Equip 2. Pretty nice. Drag to the Underworld. Spell costs X less to cast, where X is your devotion to black. Destroy target creature. Gray Merchant of Asphodel. I really like this guy's design. And my cat is moving the table. Whenever Gray Merchant enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So if you have a lot on the board, a lot of devotion to black, just gonna give me more life, give you more death. Rite of Consumption. As an additional cost to play Rite of Consumption, sacrifice a creature. Rite of Consumption deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to target player. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. Nice. Leiden Mare. Add swamp to your mana pool. Alright. I'm gonna zoom out a back. So basically, actually I'll zoom up. Basically, yes, I have proxy cards. This one probably wouldn't be too bad to get IRL. I think that in this video production, if you didn't look too closely, it could just be another magic card, you know. Especially with the glare. But yeah, I'm not going to sell this. I'm not trying to. In fact, that's why I put proxy on here. So you can definitely tell it's not a real magic card. Why am I doing this? Let me get close enough so you can kind of see the bad cuts. Hold on. Anyways, so why did I get proxy cards? There's a few in here which cost a bit much, and I could put 9 cards on a page and print it. I might as well, you know. And plus, if I were to buy it, this one card, and I'll tell you then. First, Bubbling Muck until the end of turn. Whenever a player taps a swamp for mana, it produces an additional swamp, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Oh no! This guy, another proxy. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life. For each spell you've cast this turn, pay 50 life. Pay 50 life and deal 50 damage to target creature or player. Yes, this is very, very nice. I could buy this card. This is not the card I'm going to talk about, but this I had in another deck. It was another black deck, and it was pretty nice to use to end I ended one opponent with it, and then I believe I just had to kind of take out the other opponent. So that was cool. So the time I played Vito on tabletop, I got to 100, over 100 life, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna gain a bunch of life, because a lot of these are gain life, obviously, might as well also potentially use it, you know, just in case. Shrouded Lore. The opponent chooses a card in your graveyard. You may pay swamp. If you do, repeat this process except that the opponent can't choose a card already chosen for Shrouded Lore. Then put the last chosen card into your hand. Yep. Demonic Vigor. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. When enchanted creature dies, return that card to its owner's hand. Minion of Waste. Trample. When you play Minion of Waste, pay any amount of life. Minion of Waste has power and toughness equal to that amount. Yes, this one is very, very nice indeed. You pretty much can gain, lose, or pay a bunch of life. Oops. Pay a bunch of life, sacrifice it, gain that life back, and deal the damage. This one I like a lot. You know, it's commander, might not come up that often, but it's pretty good. Also, this isn't a proxy, so I don't know why I put it in why it's in between the proxy piles. Last one. This is the reason why I got this proxy. Exquisitive Blood. Now, I will say right off the bat, you know, this is like a $30 to $40 card. And I wouldn't even be paying Wizards of the Coast for it. I'd be paying someone on eBay for it. And also the other cards are around 25 cents that I'd be paying someone else for. So it's either I pay some random guy or some business, which isn't that bad. Like, because I already bought, like, not Vito. I bought Vito from Target, and then a bunch, the ones that aren't proxies in here from Card Kingdom, and so I paid Magic the Gathering, a big business Target, online service, store. So like I'm still spending monies in these areas. The only one I'm not is to just some random person, which someone else will definitely buy, you know, if they want this card for sure. Exquisitive Blood. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. This is definitely one that will be very good together. It'll just make a loop. It'll just make a loop of it'll just create a loop of damage towards my opponents. And the best thing about this is, you know, you only need like one life to do it. One life. That's all it takes. Let me grab real quick. Like for instance, just this one, just put on the battlefield, one life, and then I'll gain a life. Opponent loses life. Opponent loses life. I gain life. Opponent loses life. 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 Gain life. It's pretty nice. So that's why I really wanted this card to be in the deck. So that was my commander deck. It'll be nice to kind of shuffle these around. I'll definitely have to get to shuffling, but I'm going to change a few cards around. So I could get 9 proxies, and I'll show you what the other proxies are. And I might actually just switch out these 3 for a couple of the other proxies I got. Now, I won't put Black Lotus in This was just fun, you know, like just to have like a cool little black lotus. Like a cool little black lotus, you know. Let me zoom in. That's out. Let me make a thumbnail. Anyways, I won't put this in. I mean, I could, but there's no point. The other proxies are chains of Mesophosophilis. And also, like, I know I'm using proxies, but I definitely respect, you know, Magic. I know that they're a business. I don't want to take money from them. Sometimes it's just cool to have these, and I never try to play these in a tournament, obviously, but and like I care enough to distinguish them, you know. There was a few others, I can't find them at the moment, but that's fine. That's fine. I think let's go back to Big Tom. That's it. That's my deck, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Magic, Zelda, chess, NES. Best channel. Probably. Anyways, see ya.